Yeah, of course. My name is Erwin Huls. I work for the Rabobank about almost 25 years now. I started in 1996 at a local bank in the Netherlands, and I moved in around 2002 to Rabobank Netherlands, and then that is later on turned to Central Rabobank because we had a split in our organization between the national local financial market and the international market. And that joined in 2017, that joined together, and now we have one Rabobank, which I'm, they called a PKI specialist within the Rabobank. That is, in short, my story within the bank. In 2000, that was just before I came to the Rabobank Netherlands. We started within the Rabobank with PKI around 2000. It was the first PKI. It was a little bit early, and it was all based on the knowledge that we had at that time. A lot of checks, a lot of manual checks that we had. Not many vendors that were delivering PKI as a whole solution. Most of them delivered the PKI backend structure. There's the CAs like that, but not a complete RA solution for customers. So we designed a lot of own solutions, own applications that managed to keep a little bit track and keep the certificates more useful for the end users. We built a solution for smart cards. We built a separate application for issuing web service certificates. At that time, in 2010, I think a lot of auto enrollment for Windows started. So there we had to keep track on, and we built some solutions about that. And the whole solution migrated over time until even now we have some legacy applications that are still there, were based on the solution we designed in around 2005. So because of those thoughts, we had some struggles about keeping up the whole environment, because it was based on old program languages, old designs, and that kind of stuff. A lot of them had their own user registrations, certificate registrations, which are not connected to a central managed and up-to-date database. A lot of handwork, manual work for signing approvals, and so a lot of requests take at that time almost 2 days to complete. So at the time that a customer made a request that he actually had a certificate in hand, it takes 2 days average. So that would take too much time for the user to handle their own nowadays the CI/CD pipelines what they have. So it takes too much time for the customer. Besides that, we had registrations that databases were not connected to a central database, so actual data we did not have. So when we started to join the organizations, a lot of reorganizations of departments and switches of users that they get other jobs, got other email addresses, and that kind of movements. So we could not keep track on the ownership of the certificates, who owns which certificate at that moment. So if certificates need to be renewed, and we had to send notifications about that, we could not find a lot of users anymore. So we did a lot of search, manual handwork to get the right notifications to the right people. Now there are a lot of challenges, and we had to and it take a lot of time, effort from our teams that could be more efficient. So that were the most of the challenges. And besides that, the market goes on, and a lot of changes in the PKI structure. We saw until 2000. What I always say, until 2015, 2017, the whole PKI market was some kind of stable. And now we see with the whole cloud migrations in the world and the whole shift to security, remote working, that PKI is more hot topic, more important, and will make also a lot of changes inside. Shorter certificates, more security around, more security policies around the certificates. All the questions about encryption, secure connections, that kind of stuff, because of the remote working, because of the situation we are in with COVID-19. So PKI has a lot more attention in the world now. So we had to move to, and we had to keep our PKI more future-proof, and that is one of the challenges also we had within the Rabobank. So to make it short, we had long times for certificates before they had before they go to market. We had a lot of problems with keeping up our registration, and a lot of maintenance costs, because we had a lot of old and a lot of different applications. And besides, we had two organizations, we had two PKI structures. We have to make one. So that's what the challenges we have. Yeah, we thought about two things. Of course, we want we move from two organizations to one organization, so we have two infrastructures of IT infrastructures, two PKIs, which is confusing for the user. So we want to make the PKI structure to the user kind of transparent. They just need to have one portal which they can use, and they will be helped to select which certificates they need, and what is happening behind the screens. That should be transparent for the user. That was the first thing. So the front end should be user friendly. Second, of course, 2 days is not handleable anymore. So we had to go down to I say minutes. Some will say seconds, but let's define it with minutes. So that should be also much faster. And in the old days, we had a lot of different applications, which are mostly graphical user interface. So we want also have possibilities to connect API connections. So that that are the three main goals we had to we set up. And beside that, we split up the whole PKI, make a future-proof. We split it in two things. One, the front end. I just described what we want there. And the second is that we want to update our backend, of course, the whole PKI structure in the backend. But once we have updated the front end, and that make the backend transparent for the users, we can make changes to the backend. So the user has no problems with that and have no disadvantages. So that is why we searched a solution in the market for that could help us with one complete certificate management solution. Not just some new tools that we can use, but we want one single management solution for certificates. And that's where AppViewX came in. Yeah, we first started conversations with an RFP in at the end of 2019, I think. Then we started building, designing, and learning the whole solution with AppViewX in the year 2000. I think we selected AppViewX in early second quarter in 2020, and I think we have implemented our solution in March 2021, And from there on, we used the solution CERT Plus from AppViewX until now, and we're really proud of the solution what we set up together. We designed a new solution for that to connect the CERT Plus certificate management portal with our CMDB. We use SM9 for that, and our organization has made a policy, and we urged the management team about that every asset should be registered in our CMDB. So every user, every department, and every asset should be up to date in our CMDB. So what we thought is that we could connect our CERT Plus environment to the CMDB and get all the information from the user there. Which asset is he responsible for, which department he has, but also the functional mailbox and that kind of stuff. So we can build a kind of authorization model around that, and also we could write back some information to the CMDB, so we can send notifications, and we don't send notifications from the certificate portal CERT Plus, but we send notifications from the CMDB. So we register again back the certificates to the CMDB, and they will keep track on the user and can send notification about renewal of the certificates, about decommissioning assets, and then we can also revoke our certificates from there. So we have a close connection to the actual organization data and our registration of the certificates in CERT Plus. So we are especially proud of that solution. That works great. Besides that, of course, we want to have automation, so we implemented also the API within CERT Plus. So the CI/CD pipelines that are common today are used heavily, and they work great. Within minutes they get the certificates, and also that is based on the CMDB data that we have. So we have a full authorization model and also approval model within CERT Plus, within the whole certificate organization. Once that should be checked manually, it's now checked fully automated, and that works great. Yeah. Besides that, we had some really nice flows within certificate, because not every user uses an API. So we do need some graphical user interface, some request forms, but they are also based on the authorization model. So they fill in a form. We also know by single sign-on who is logging on to the portal, and we already know for which asset the user can request certificates and is responsible for the certificates. So we can create a request form, and they get the certificates back in minutes, and they can keep track on the whole request flow. Yeah, because we have an actual registration now, a good registration, every user that can access the certificate portal can also request their own certificates, a complete list of report of their own certificates, and that also helps the user to know which certificate he is responsible for. So that helps also to keep track on the actuality of the certificates which are in use at this moment, because they are related to the assets, and we can see from are they disposed, retired, or are they still in production. And we see that once a user, a department, knows which certificates they are responsible for, they also take responsibility for that and also revoke certificates if they are not needed anymore. So we see a movement to about, I think about 90% that certificates are really revoked when they are not needed anymore. So security is also getting a boost for this one. issuing certificates by the portal. I definitely say by the portal. I think about 1,000 every month. Around that, not especially because besides that we do issue a lot of other certificates like smart cards, auto enrollment, and a lot of that mobile device management. Also a lot of certificates that are not handled by the portal at this moment, but issuing by the portal, I think about 1,000 every month. At this moment in the inventory, we have around 100,000 active valid certificates in the portal. We have almost 1 million certificates that we in any way issued in the inventory database of CERT+, and that can be retired, revoked, but also the valid certificates are in CERT+, and we keep that to keep some kind of history and also other data for the future. We have because of this portal that we have now, I think we saved around 2 FTEs compared to the solution we had before. So that was also a nice win situation. We almost decommissioned all the other the old applications. I think that will be at least 4, but I think that that will even be more over future in the future. I think we can decommission around 5, 6, 7 old applications, and that will also save us a lot of maintenance costs. And I already mentioned that I think that is really an important one, that because of the awareness of the users, that around 90% of the issued certificates by the users are really revoked once they realize their assets and the certificates are not used anymore. So I think that that's really a good one. Give a really boost to the security of our environment. And of course, now we have a connection with a scanning application. We use Qualys for that, and we already see a lot of certificates that are issued outside our maintenance of our service. And we can also we also keep track of all those certificates in the inventory, and we keep track on them, and we can set actions to the user, say, hey, something is getting wrong. You should get some certificates from our side and not your own certificates. So security is getting there also a boost with the new solution we have. This was, at least for us, a very large switch, a large shift in the organization to so make projects small, make some small goals. What we did is first, get a graphical user interface, a new form ready for requesting certificates, and we set that up besides the old solution. So we had 2 solutions at that moment, and that was a little bit confusing for the customers, but for us it was more handleable. Make small steps. First we did a graphical user interface, a form. Then we step up to get also the revocation flows ready in the portal. Then we step up for the reporting. Then we step up for the API flows. We connected from there. We connected external certificates to that. So we build it up on time and slowly. So we make it a little bit more handleable than cover everything at once to position a complete solution in the organization. And and still we are making progress. Now we are evolving still on the whole track. Now